were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
So that clip pretty much summed up my thoughts about this movie. Anyways, so I'm gonna be reviewing Star Wars: The Last Jedi. This is also going to be a spoiler review and a bit of a rant. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to get spoiled, I suggest you stop watching. But nonetheless, let's get started. So I wanted to start off with the good stuff about this movie. There isn't that much good in it, but there are a few things. So first of all, the visuals. I think the visuals in this movie they're really great. It's a really nice movie to look at. The visuals are spot on, and I think by far it has some of the best visuals in any Star Wars movie to date. So they did a good job with that, at least. Another thing is that the movie was really entertaining to watch. At least in my case, I was never really bored. I was paying attention the whole time, even though it was 2 hours and 30 minutes, I believe. I was always entertained for the most part with this movie. Another thing is the musical score. I think that they really amped it up with Episode 8, whereas in The Force Awakens, the score was pretty lackluster. So they really did a good job on this movie with the score. I think some of the tracks were more had more like power to them, whereas in the last one they were just pretty flat. Last thing is the space battles were fun. Like I said, this kind of goes with the thing that I said, that the movie was pretty entertaining. But yeah, the space battles were pretty fun to watch. Like the first act of the movie where they had the whole space battle. I think it was really cool. It was really fun. It reminded me of Empire Strikes Back, and it was really nicely done. So as far as the good things, I think that's about it. Let me see if I can think of another thing. No. Alright, so let's get to the nitty gritty, which is the bad things. And trust me, there are quite a lot of bad things, and like I said, there will be a lot of spoilers, so you have been warned. Alright, so one of the main things that really angered me was, first of all, I just want to say I didn't want to make this video. I wanted to make a positive review for this movie because I was really hoping that this movie was going to turn things around and make things much better for the franchise. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I think with this movie, it actually made things worse. So I think Rian Johnson, I think he really put the series in a very weird position. So J.J. Abrams is going to have to fix his already colossal mess that he started in the first one, and now Rian Johnson just added more to the fire. So we'll see how that goes. But I was really hoping this movie was going to be great. I had high hopes for this movie, obviously, because it's Star Wars. I mean, I love Star Wars, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. I was really disappointed, along with many other people. I've seen several reviews, and they feel the same as me. So, unfortunately, I have to make this video and talk about my feelings, because I really do enjoy Star Wars, and the direction that they're going to is just the wrong one. So anyways, let's get started with the bad things. Alright, so one thing that I really wanted to see in this film was Rey and Kylo Ren receiving some sort of training. Now, especially with Rey, in the first movie, she was branded as a Mary Sue, and I agreed. I agreed with that for the most part. She was just too overpowered. It never seemed like she was in any real danger or anything like that. So I was really hoping that in this movie, she was finally going to get training, you know, so she could learn the Force, master the Force, and use her abilities. And one thing that annoyed me, is that in the trailer, it made it seem like Rey and Luke were going to be, you know, doing some Dagobah style training like Yoda and Luke did back in Episode 5. So it made you think that, oh, it's gonna be like Rey is gonna be trained by Luke, and she's gonna learn the Force, she's gonna learn how to use a lightsaber and whatnot. But that doesn't happen throughout the whole film, and it's really annoying how it makes you think that they're gonna train, but they don't train at all. Like in the whole movie, I think Luke teaches Rey one lesson, and it's not even a good one, because all he says is he's just gonna teach her why she shouldn't be a Jedi. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about how Luke was ruined in this film, so I'll get to that in a bit. But I was really disappointed. There's no training. Rey receives no training at all. It's just false illusion to make you think that she's gonna be trained, but there's no training. Same thing with Kylo Ren. You know, we never get to see him training his dark side abilities. No training at all. Like, that's like one of the things that I really was looking forward to in this film, but no training whatsoever. Alright, so another thing that really pissed me off is how Disney just ruined Luke Skywalker. They completely ruined Luke Skywalker. He's not the Luke Skywalker that I know from the original trilogy. This Luke Skywalker is a coward. He's just a grumpy old man who, I don't know what's up with Luke, but that's not Luke. I mean, throughout the whole film, he's just complaining. He's just acting like a baby, you know. Just he hates the Jedi now for some reason, and he wants the order to end, and he wants to burn the books, and he wants to destroy the Jedi basically. And I'm like, this is the Luke Skywalker that in the first film he dreamed of becoming a Jedi. Like, that was his goal. He's like, I want to be a Jedi like my father. And that was the plot. Like, Luke was training to become a Jedi Master, and they just completely killed that. Like, they just flushed that down the toilet. This is some other Luke from an alternate universe, because this is not the Luke that we grew up with. You know, I'm sorry, but he's not. And the worst part is that, you know, there's a scene where supposedly Luke is going to kill Kylo because he senses dark in him. And I'm like, wait, hold up. So you're telling me that this is the same Luke that literally saved his father, turned him back to the light, and you're telling me that he can't turn his own nephew to the light, so he's just gonna kill him? When I saw that, I was like, yeah, no. Disney, what the heck are you doing? Seriously. And I knew that Luke was going to be messed with, because if you watch a lot of his interviews, Mark Hamill is very disappointed in the way that Disney treated Luke, especially in the first film. He hates Luke now. He hates the way Disney, treated Luke. And I agree with him. They completely killed Luke Skywalker. They killed him. He's nothing now. Like he's just a coward. Luke is just a coward who never did anything, and that's the sad thing, is that Disney just killed him. But whatever. Let's see what else. Another thing, Leia's Superman scene. Oh my goodness. When I saw that scene, I started laughing. Like seriously, I started cracking up because it was just so funny. And the thing is that I thought that Leia was going to be killed in episode 8. Now, I'm not sure if they finished filming the movie before she passed away. I'm not sure about that. So I can't really say too much on that, but if she did pass away, then they should have killed her off in episode 8, because now it's not going to really make sense in episode 9. Like, how are they going to do it? They're just gonna, is it just gonna say on the when the movie starts, like, oh, Leia died of something, like she died of a broken heart, like Padme did. I'm like, what are you? You know what? Disney might just freaking do that. Oh my god. But yeah, Leia apparently now all of a sudden she uses the Force when she never used the Force. Now we do know that Leia is force sensitive. Yoda confirmed that in episode 5, but they never took that anywhere. They never made Leia into a Jedi. They never had her training or nothing like that. So now all of a sudden they decide to, give her Force powers, which we didn't even know existed, because apparently now if you're a Jedi, or if you have a Force and you're blown out of your ship, you can just fly back with no problems, and not even, you don't even have to breathe. Like, the Force gives you oxygen for some reason. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Leia, but that was just so stupid, and it was hilarious because I was cracking up when I saw that. Like, I literally thought of Superman. I was like, oh my god, Leia is Superman now. Whatever. Another thing, new Force powers. Like I said, new Force powers that are just barely introduced to the series. After all these years, there's new Force powers apparently, because we could just make up whatever we want now. So Leia has Superman Force abilities. Apparently now you can communicate with other Jedis or even dark side users, and you guys could actually physically see each other, what they're doing, and even touch each other. So, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to explore new things, but at least explain these abilities, at least give us some context. Like, maybe if Luke would have told Rey that this is a new Force power that I discovered while reading the ancient Jedi texts, you could communicate physically with someone else that's somewhere else, and you guys could see you guys' surroundings, and even feel each other. If that would have happened, that would have been great. And if Leia would have said, when she came back into the ship, they said, oh, what, Leia, how did you do that? She'd be, oh, my brother taught me, my brother Luke taught me this whenever we were together, whatever. Something like that. Like, at least give us some believable context behind these new powers, because then it's just like you guys can literally just create whatever you want. So come on, guys, like, it can't be that difficult to just give us a little bit of context behind these new things that you just decide to add in. Alright, so the next thing is one of the things that I am most frustrated at. The death of Supreme Leader Snoke. What a waste of a character. Snoke is pretty much the worst villain in Star Wars history. He did nothing. He was no one. He was nothing. I mean, we have a guy who was supposedly just as powerful, if not more powerful, than Darth Sidious, as Rian Johnson stated, yet he's so powerful he couldn't even feel his apprentice controlling the lightsaber and chopping him in half. Yes, Snoke gets killed by Kylo Ren manipulating Rey's lightsaber and chopping him in half. And that's it. Snoke is dead. Now there is speculation that he's not dead, that he's still alive, but that would be very stupid if they actually did that, because it would make absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever. So, like I said, Snoke was made out to be like this big deal. Like he was this big badass. Like he was more powerful than Sidious. People thought that he was Darth Plagueis and all these other guys. And at the end of the day, it turns out to be nothing. It's just a smokescreen. He's no one. Literally, Snoke is nothing. Now, the biggest problem I have with this is we never got to see who Snoke was. Where did he come from? And how did he get the power? Where did he get that power? And, where did he... yeah, the biggest question is, where did he come from? Where did Snoke come from? Who is he? That's the thing, who is he? This guy looks like he's been around for thousands of years. He looks like he could have even been around during the prequel trilogy. But unfortunately we will never find out who he is, how he got there, how powerful this guy is, because don't get me wrong, he was powerful. He had power. He was the one that pretty much bridged the connection between Rey and Kylo, because he used Kylo's weakness in order to get to Rey. So we know that he has that type of power. He can pretty much get any information from anybody, like how he did it with Rey. He got Luke's location from Rey's mind. But this guy is so powerful that he gets killed by his apprentice like nothing. And it's just so disappointing. Like, why make this guy seem to be like he's gonna be a big deal, like he's gonna be the big villain of the trilogy, and just to kill him off? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It looked like Rian Johnson looked at Snoke and he said, yeah, I don't like this guy, let's kill him in the most stupidest way possible. Like, at least if you were gonna kill him, have it be like this awesome battle between him, Rey, and Kylo Ren, like all three of them fighting against each other. That would have been so awesome. But no, they just kill him in the most stupidest way possible. And you're like, this guy's not powerful, he's a fraud. Like, he can get killed by his apprentice who is not even trained. Then yeah, he's not a serious deal then. But anyways, let's move on. What else do we got? What else do we have here? The Rose and Finn side plot. Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. I know a lot of people are really bashing on this. I didn't think it was that bad. I just thought it was kind of pointless, especially the whole romance thing that they started going for. I just didn't see any chemistry between Finn and Rose. And the whole thing with the casino and the whole message that they were trying to get across with the animal abuse, slavery, and greed type of deal. Like, I mean, I get what you're trying to do with it, but it's really unnecessary. Like, we're trying to watch a Star Wars movie here. We're not trying to watch a PETA commercial or a, you know, those dumb types of dumb things. So really unnecessary. And honestly, the whole side quest was pretty pointless at the end of the day because they failed either way. The mission was a failure anyways. Um, and another thing that really just kind of baffled me was the whole plan in general could have been avoided if the pink-haired woman had just told the plan to Poe. I mean, I'm like, what is the point of withholding that information from him? He clearly wants to help the resistance get away. He clearly wants to help people, you know, get to safety. Why are you holding that information from him and other members? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. No sense at all. And you see that Poe is doing all these things behind your back, and there's even a mutiny that starts because of this, and you still don't tell him the plan. I'm like, what kind of army is this? Like, no wonder you guys are getting freaking annihilated because of stuff like this. And don't think I'm stupid, Disney. I know what you did there with the pink-haired general. You know, pretty much she was like the straight up feminist, you know, talking down to men, being like, oh, you guys are stupid, hot-headed, hot shots, you don't know nothing, blah 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 blah. I know what you did there. Very subtle, Disney, very subtle. But anyways, back on topic. So stupid. Like, just tell Poe the plan. Like, don't you guys want to survive? Just tell him the plan. Oh my gosh, she's for reals. Another thing that really annoyed me was the humor. I think there was way too much humor in this movie. Way too much, especially in serious scenes. Like, let's take for example the first scene in the movie was between General Hux and Poe, and they were talking on the intercom and they're joking around, and this guy's like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?" And I'm just like, bro, are you guys serious? You guys are literally on a space battle trying to kill each other and you're joking around? How am I supposed to take the First Order serious like that? It just kills the mood. It kills any mood that you set up with a stupid joke, and they're not even funny. So, way too much humor, you know. Disney thinks that Star Wars is Marvel movies now for some reason. Like, just kind of tone it down a little bit. You know, I'm not saying you can't have humor. You know, I did laugh a couple times, but just tone it down a bit, especially in the more serious situations, because it's completely unnecessary and it just takes you away from the whole experience. Alright, so next thing I want to talk about is the abandoned subplots. Now, I kind of went over some a little bit, but let's talk about Rey's parents. I think the reveal of Rey's parents was one of the most disappointing, laziest reveals in history. So, in episode 1, it was this big deal to find out who Rey's parents were. You know, everybody was making theories, just like with Snoke. You know, they were making theories, making videos like, who are Rey's parents? Is Rey related to Luke? Is it Luke's daughter? Is it Obi-Wan's daughter? Is it Obi-Wan's, related to Obi-Wan? Everybody was speculating all these things. Is she related to Kylo Ren? Are they brother and sister? That's why they have a connection. Well, none of that is true. And it turns out that her parents were no one. They were junkies who sold her for drug money. Well, just great. Just great. We already have an uninteresting character, and you just made her even more uninteresting. I mean, Rey has got to be one of the most blandest, most laziest written characters of all time, because she has the potential to be a great character, but Disney just doesn't know how to write a good character. Another thing, what happened to the Knights of Ren? Where are the Knights of Ren? What was the point of setting up the Knights of Ren in the first film? Where are they? Are they just on vacation at a spa, or are they out there on that gambling planet? Like, where are the Knights of Ren? They have to be somewhere. I mean, unless Disney just said, they're dead. Whatever. Move on. I wouldn't be surprised. And another thing is Snoke. Snoke. They're making Snoke out to be this big badass, this very powerful being who is, thousands of years old with knowledge and all these hidden powers. And then he just turns out to be nothing, just a fraud, just a dumb, old, wrinkly man who for some reason dresses like Hugh Hefner. That's Snoke for you. So, what else is there to talk about? Honestly, this film really just made me lose hope in Star Wars. I was really looking forward to Episode 8, but after watching it, I'm left wondering, is it even worth the hype anymore? I feel like Star Wars now is just a cash cow for Disney. Like, the more we go forward, the more mediocre these movies are gonna be. I mean, next year we're getting a Han Solo movie. Like, who asked for a Han Solo movie? Nobody wants a Han Solo movie. Because at the end of the day, we all know he's just gonna die. He's just gonna die, so it's pointless. The only one I'm kind of excited for is the Obi-Wan movie. Because I really like Obi-Wan. He's one of my favorite characters, so I don't mind an Obi-Wan movie, but pretty much they're gonna make a movie about every character. We're gonna have a Yoda movie, we're gonna have a Darth Vader movie, although that would be pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Gonna be a Jar Jar movie, gonna be a movie about pretty much every character, so we'll see. But Episode 9, I don't know what direction they're going to take this film in. It's apparent that pretty much every director can just do whatever they want with the movies and just change everything if they don't like it. So we'll see how J.J. Abrams handles the film. I'm not really too excited that he's in charge of the last film, but we'll see how it goes. Another thing I didn't talk about was Luke's death. Luke's death was so stupid, and I'm just like, are you serious? That's it? Luke's dead? He didn't do anything. Luke didn't do anything. He didn't do a damn thing. He never trained Rey. He never left the stupid island. Like, are you serious? He never left that stupid island. All he did was just be a grumpy, be a fucking coward, and drink blue milk. That's all he did. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. Oh, I forgot to mention, Yoda comes out in this movie. Why he comes out in this movie, I don't know. I don't know why Yoda comes out in this movie. I'm not complaining because I love Yoda. He's an amazing character. But why is Yoda in this movie? He's so random, and then he can shoot lightning from his hands. I'm like, wait, what? Force Ghosts can now physically, use powers? That's interesting. Well, I didn't know that, but thanks for, introducing it in this film without even explaining anything. What else? I guess let's talk a little bit about Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, I'm kind of conflicted between whether I like him or not. I for the most part, I like him. I think Adam Driver is a great actor, but I just think that Kylo Ren as a character is not very well written. He's just too conflicted. Like, you don't know what this guy is going to do. Like, either, is he going to be a dark side user? Is he going to be a light side user? Like, at this point, just make up your mind. Just choose a freaking side. Either you're going to be good or you're going to be bad. Now, apparently he's going to be bad now because he killed Snoke. So he has to be the supreme leader, which I'm really disappointed in because I really wanted Kylo to turn to the dark side and team up with Rey to fight Snoke at the end. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what a lot of people thought was going to happen. That's what a lot of people wanted, me included. But apparently that's not the case. Snoke was just a nobody. And I'm guessing the final battle is going to be Rey versus Kylo, and we all know how it's going to end. Rey's going to kick his ass, and there you go. Speaking of kicking ass, I'm still baffled how Rey, and even Kylo for that matter, managed to defeat the Praetorian guards, the red guards that were protecting Snoke. I'm like, these guys have absolutely no training at all. I mean, Kylo has a bit more training than Rey, but we've never seen what type of training Kylo has gotten, so we don't know exactly his level. Like, what is Kylo's level? Is he still an apprentice? Is he a master? Is he a knight? Like, what is this guy? We don't even know, because there's never any footage of him training for that matter. Like, it's just, you're just kind of like, okay, sometimes he's OP, sometimes he's a wimp. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. It like, Rey and Kylo are just good whenever the plot suits them. Whenever it suits them, that they become Jedi Masters. Able to defeat 1,000-year-old, dark side users, and Rey able to defeat fully trained guards with no trouble at all. She even had to help Kylo at the end because she's that powerful. Watching this film really makes me appreciate the prequels. It really does make me appreciate the prequels a lot, because as dumb as the prequels were, you know, I'm one of the people who like the prequels. I really like the prequels, albeit Episode 2 has some of the worst dialogue and acting I've ever seen in a Star Wars film. But for the most part, the three films are pretty solid. I think I've rewatched them like 20 times already, or even more. I don't even know. But the prequels at least had a story. You know, it was a story of Anakin and his fall to the dark side. That was the story, and you knew what the story was. You understood it. It was there. It was there. And I think some of the best moments are from the prequels. I mean, just think about the lightsaber battle between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul, with Duel of Fates playing in the background. Like, that's one of the most amazing scenes ever. And think about Attack of the Clones. I mean, bad movie, right? But think about when all the Jedis land onto the stadium on Geonosis, and they start fighting against the droids and stuff. You know, great scene. Episode 3, some of the best scenes in Star Wars. Order 66. Just watching the scene when the Jedi are getting killed is one of the most emotional, it's one of the most powerful scenes in the whole of, you know, trilogy and series as a whole. You know, with that music in the background, it's just a very powerful scene in the movies. And of course, who can forget Anakin versus Obi-Wan on Mustafar? Like, that is one of the best lightsaber battles ever. So these movies, you know, even though they had major flaws in them, they had some of the best moments in Star Wars history, and George Lucas wasn't afraid of being creative and showing new things, and just making Star Wars into something more. I mean, you watch the prequels and you're like, this is Star Wars. It just feels right. And these new movies that are being made by Disney, you can tell they're being made by Disney because they are just terrible films, you know. And here's the thing, let me rephrase that. These movies are great standalone movies. They're good movies, but they're terrible Star Wars movies. That's the thing. They're good movies, but they're bad Star Wars movies. And a lot of, you know, diehard Star Wars fans will agree with me on almost every point that I made. And that leads me to another point that I forgot. Captain Phasma. Oh my god, Captain Phasma. What was the point of bringing her back? What was the point of bringing Captain Phasma back if they were just going to get rid of her in a matter of minutes? The most pointless character in Star Wars history. Pointless. Just, please, for the love of God, do not bring her back in Episode 9. Do not bring her back, because she is pointless. We already know that she's useless, and she's not going to add anything to the story. She's not the next Boba Fett. Just, yeah, enough. Who else can we talk about? Finn. There's not really much to say about Finn. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I like John Boyega. I think he's a good actor. But Finn as a character is really weak. And he's just, I think I saw this from a review, another review saying that Finn was useless and he's weak and he always fails at his mission. He always, and that's true, he always fails. You know, and they had such a good idea with him, you know, a defective stormtrooper, like all the possibilities they could have gone with that. And they choose to make Finn a dumb, stupid, comedic relief character. Makes no sense. I mean, instead of making him this hardened, grizzled, you know, stormtrooper veteran who defected because he couldn't take it anymore. He's just sick of the violence and the murder and the corruption and the greed. He just said, you know what, F this, all my friends are dying, I'm out. And have him be this very, like I said, hardened, you know, warrior that he's been through some shit, you know. But at the same time, he will, you know, give his all for the resistance. But no, they just said no, let's just make him a joke. Let's make him a joke. So stupid. So yeah, Disney. I don't even know how to feel about Star Wars anymore. I don't know. Like, I'm definitely, for sure, I'm going to watch Episode 9 because I want to see how this trilogy ends. I kind of want it to end already because it's just gotten to the point where it can't get any worse. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the next trilogy is going to be about. I mean, I'm not gonna have my hopes up because it's Disney. They've already shown twice that they are incompetent. And they're just not going to make good films anymore. It's not like the George Lucas era where at least he introduced new things and he was creative and he told a story. At least we have that. But these films are just cash grabs, you know. They're just trying to milk Star Wars as much as possible. And I'm scared that I'm going to get tired of it. Because if they keep releasing movies like this, there's only so much more the real fans are going to take. Another thing is that I hope to God that they do something original. Do something original for once. Like, just, there's so many possibilities with Star Wars. Literally, there's endless possibilities with Star Wars. And if they don't do something creative, then just stop making Star Wars, please. Just stop. Just stop. You know, we don't want the prequels anymore. I mean, we don't want the original trilogy anymore. We don't want the prequels. We want something new. Want something new. Something original, something creative, something good. Don't give us half-assed characters with no explanations, no backstories. They can just pull out any trick out of their ass and they can be the best Jedi ever, and without any training they can master the Force in a few hours. It's just stupid. And I don't know how to feel anymore about Star Wars. I feel like my hype has gone down for Star Wars. It's not the same as it used to be. I was really disappointed with The Last Jedi. I thought that they were going to fix a lot of the issues from The Force Awakens, because The Force Awakens was a huge mess. It's a huge mess. I think some people are saying that The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars film ever. I think it's the second worst. No, actually, I think it's the third worst. The first worst movie for me would have to be The Clone Wars. And then Force Awakens, and now The Last Jedi. So I think that's all. I think that's all I gotta say for right now. I do plan on seeing the movie again, but I doubt that that's gonna change my mind. But we'll see. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, please, and just comment your thoughts. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys hate this movie? Do you guys love this movie? Think it's the best movie ever? Just tell me how you feel about it. And I shall see you next time.